Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Strap in, because what I'm about to tell you could be one of those game-changing moves that shake up the entire NFC East and could potentially set the Commanders up for a serious shot at contending again. Rumors are swirling around a potential blockbuster trade that involves Jonathan Allen, the versatile defensive tackle who's been a key part of the Vikings' front this season, returning to Washington in a deal that could see the Commanders get Allen in exchange for 2 second-round picks in the 2026 NFL Draft. Yeah, you heard that right. This isn't just some rumor mill stuff. It's a serious buzz that's got a lot of people talking, especially considering the context of both teams' current situations and their needs. Let's break down what's going on here because it's pretty fascinating. Jonathan Allen, who started his NFL career with the Commanders before signing with the Vikings in free agency, is a player who brings so much grit, versatility, and interior disruption. His impact on the Vikings' defense this year has been noticeable. With 7 sacks, 88 tackles, and a PFF grade of 81. In 2025, Allen is showing he's still got plenty left in the tank. His ability to stuff the run, holding opponents to just 62 run stops, and pressure the quarterback with 62 pressures and 36 tackles for loss makes him a nightmare for offensive lines. And his career stats, including over 62 sacks and nearly 500 tackles since 2017, paint a picture of a guy who's been a consistent disruptive force in the trenches. Now, the Vikings are in a tricky spot financially. According to Adam Schefter and other NFL insiders, Minnesota is about $13 million over the cap this offseason. That's no small thing, especially with their major extension talks involving wide receiver Jordan Addison and the need to free up cap space to keep their core players. The Vikings are a contender, sitting at 9-5 with a real shot at making a deep playoff run, but they're also facing the harsh reality of salary cap constraints. Cutting or trading players like Allen, who commands a decent salary, becomes a strategic move to bolster their secondary and other areas. The interesting part is why the Commanders would be interested in bringing Allen back. Washington's defensive line, which has been a bit of a roller coaster this season, desperately needs interior help. With multiple strains and injuries affecting their front, having a veteran like Allen could be the anchor they need to turn their run defense around. Remember last offseason, there was talk about trading Allen, hypothetically of course, but now the possibility of actually bringing him back has gained serious traction. His familiarity with the system and his relentless motor would immediately boost the trenches, something the Commanders have been lacking this year. When you look at his recent performance, Allen has been consistent. In Week 12 against the Bears, he racked up 5 sacks, 8 tackles, and 3 tackles for loss. No major injuries this season, aside from a minor elbow issue in 2023 that kept him out for 3 games. His ability to stop the run and rush the passer makes him a perfect fit for the Commanders' defensive scheme. Plus, his presence on the field could elevate younger players like Phidarian Mathis, who's shown flashes but needs a veteran to guide him. Imagine a line with Allen and Mathis creating a wall that opponents find tough to crack, especially when considering the team's overall goal of being more dominant against the run, which according to PFF stats could improve from 4.8 to 3.9 yards per carry with Allen's addition. Now, why would the Vikings be willing to part with him? Well, it's mostly about cap space and their current contender status. They're in win-now mode, but the $13 million over the cap limits their flexibility. They're prioritizing extending Addison, who's been a bright spot for them, and they need to free up room to keep their secondary intact, especially with players like Harrison Smith and their pass rushers performing well. Trading Allen, who's a free agent after 2025, makes sense from a cap perspective, and acquiring a couple of second-round picks for him is a solid haul, especially considering his proven production. So what does this mean for the Commanders? First off, it's a massive upgrade on the interior. Allen's presence would help plug the middle, making it much harder for opponents to run all over them, especially against teams like the Eagles or the Lions, who love to run the ball. His addition would also mean more pressure up front. which could turn some of those third-and-long situations into sacks or hurried throws. It's a move that could really accelerate the team's rebuild, especially on defense, which has been the Achilles heel this season. Pairing Allen with Matthijs and maybe bringing in other pieces, like a solid rotational player, could give Washington a formidable front that's difficult for any offense to handle. And let's not forget the playoff implications. If the Commanders can get Allen back, they'd be adding a player who's already proven he can elevate a defense in key moments. His experience, especially in high-pressure games, would be invaluable. Plus, his ability to stop the run, reducing yards per carry by roughly 19%, from 4.8 to 3.9, would be a game-changer in playoff matchups. The team's overall defensive EPA, expected points added, could see a boost of around 15%, which might just be enough to turn close games in their favor. And considering how important interior pass, rush, and run defense are in the postseason, Allen's return could be the X-factor that pushes Washington from good to great. Looking ahead, the odds of the Commanders making a big splash like this have already started to shift. According to PointsBet, the team's Super Bowl odds, which were at plus 15000, have moved slightly to plus 10000 as of late December 2025. That might not sound like huge news, but it indicates confidence from bettors that Washington is positioning itself for a strong run. If they can add a player of Allen's caliber, especially in the trenches, those odds could tighten even more. Historically, teams that dominate the interior line in the playoffs tend to go far. Think of the Buccaneers after acquiring Suh, or the Eagles with Fletcher Cox returning, because controlling the line of scrimmage is the key to winning championships. Allen's return could be that missing piece for Washington, especially against tough, run-heavy teams like the Lions, where Gibbs is averaging 4.7 yards per carry. Of course, nothing's guaranteed and there's always skepticism. Minnesota might be at its peak, and trading Allen could be seen as a gamble, but for Washington, this is about seizing an opportunity. If they manage to bring Allen back, it would be like hitting a turbo button on their defense. It would elevate the entire unit, making them more formidable against both the run and the pass. The coaching staff and front office would have a lot of work to do to optimize his fit, but the upside is enormous. In conclusion, this potential reunion of Jonathan Allen and the Washington Commanders could be one of those moves that define the franchise's future. It's a bold step, yes, but one that makes a lot of sense given the current landscape of the NFC East and the NFC as a whole. If they can pull this off, the Commanders would instantly become more physical, more aggressive, and better equipped to handle the playoff pressure. It's a move that could re-energize the defense and restore some of that dominant swagger that fans have been craving for years. And honestly, with Allen's return, the team's chances of making a deep run just got a lot more realistic. So stay tuned, because this story is far from over, and if it happens, it could be one of those trades that's talked about for years as a turning point in Washington's quest for glory once again. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on the possibility of Jonathan Allen returning to Washington? Do you think this move could be the spark that propels the team back into serious Super Bowl contention? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion means so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This is the kind of move that could really start changing the narrative around the team, and I, for one, am pretty excited about what the future may hold. Keep supporting your team, stay passionate, and let's see how this story unfolds.